I've never been fit. I wasn't even a fit kid. A combination of bad diet and general laziness meant I was never really in good shape. As a kid I did try, kinda. I hung out with the sporty kids. I played footy and cycled to my mates' houses every day. I frequently walked 30 minutes to school instead of taking the bus, but only so I'd have an extra quid for sweets at lunchtime. I was always on the bench for the school footy team. I was always miles off winning anything on sports day. I'd eat several bars of chocolate and crisps every day. I'd turn up for football training with fizzy drink instead of water and drank over 2 litres of the stuff a day, every day. So you can imagine how things developed after I discovered drink and drugs.
The first goal I ever set myself to be able to run 10 kilometres in 1 hour or less.
That was 45 months ago and I still haven't done it.
On June 13th, the aim is to complete a 10 kilometre race right here in Koh Samui in 1 hour or less.
So this is the practice race I've entered for April the 3rd, and this is the lovely medal you get.
Other than the shout outs that I do on this channel, I really don't drink much, and I could probably count the times I've been drunk on one hand in the past sort of 3 years. Last night I drank half a bottle of rum and a couple of beers, and I wasn't drunk, but since 7:30 this morning it's just not worth it for me. And so today my diet, this is the first time I've eaten since 12 o'clock, and I've taken maybe 8 paracetamol, and well, it's no good, is it? My DMAC. So I don't know, I think this is another nail in the coffin for me in alcohol.
So it's March 18th. Yesterday was St Patrick's Day, and I didn't do anything for it. Didn't go and party or anything, went to the gym
And had a run. I ended up running 6.5 kilometres, so slowly building up. Last week was the first week that I decided to get back into running, and I did 5k, so I improved. And I never even thought about it at the time, but that's actually the most I'd ever run in one session. I had never gone over 5k before that. It's funny, when I signed up, I said I was just going to treat this one as the practice. It didn't matter about the time. All I really wanted to do was give myself a time to beat for June. But the second I paid to register, that went out the window, and now I'm feeling like I want to get as close to that 1 hour mark as possible. I'm not expecting to quite break it, but I think I'm going to get pretty close. I'm really disappointed with myself. This is the 3rd Wednesday for running, and my aim today was to try and get to 8k and still be on course, and I've got to about 1.8k outdoors, and I was completely gassed out. Just felt like there was nothing left in the tank at all. Wasn't enjoying myself, didn't want to be there, and so I've stopped running. I've come home and I feel really disappointed in myself. I mean, if that's what happens on the race, we're looking at a really slow time. So fingers crossed this was just a blip, that this is the low point in training.
Friday evening I went in to do another cardio class, and right in the warm-up immediately pulled a muscle in my leg. Yeah, so just very sort of sore and tight last night in that same area after I got home. So mathematically, if I was to run the 10k
without stopping once at the pace that I want to do it, it'll take me an hour. If I walk it and don't run any of it, it'll take me an hour and 40 minutes. So basically for every K that I walk instead of run, we're going to have to add 4 minutes to my time. So for example, if I run 9, walk 1, should do it in about 1:04. If I walk 2, 1:08, etc, etc. So I think I've got to make that at least my cut-off point. That's what I've got to aim for. It's got to be under 1:08. That means I've run at least 8k. Before I did the maths, I thought I might get about 1:03, 1:04 as the maximum. But realistically, I should probably raise it a bit so I'm not too disappointed.
I find it very boring. If you're on a treadmill, you're just standing in the same spot looking at the same thing for 30, 40, 50 minutes, not going anywhere. And then even when you're outside, I just feel like, I don't know, it's not something I enjoy doing. So it's been a bit of a chore actually getting fit for this in the end. Came into this quite enthusiastic at the start, but now that I've actually had to do the work, I don't know, I don't like running. I never have done, and I find it very boring. So I wish I was fitter and that I could get this race done in an hour, so that I wouldn't have to do the second one, to be honest with you. But I'm not going to. I've just done my last run before the race. It's Wednesday, so the race is in 4 days, and I got to 7 kilometers, which is a new record for me. But it's still 30% less than the race.
Okay, it's the day before the race, and I've come to collect my bib and my t-shirt and stuff, and just try and figure out where exactly the race course is. It's happening in a festival. Okay, it's race day. It's morning time, about 10:30 in the morning. It's the last 3 days. I haven't slept well. I was reading up on Google last night what to do before a 10k run and before you enter a 10k race, and I haven't done anything right. So I don't know. I'm not an experienced runner, and I've probably made lots of mistakes, but we'll see how we go. Like I said, just do it my own way, and whatever happens, happens. It's not the end of the world. At the end of the day, there's people that do a 10k run before going to work in the morning, so no need to make too much of a big deal out of this. If I have to walk it, I have to walk it. But having done all this work on the YouTube video, I kind of want to set a good time. I'm about to head away. The race starts in about 50 minutes. I've got about a 25-minute drive to get there. Quick warm-up. I've been sick all day. I've just took a couple of paracetamol. But I'm not making excuses. If I don't make a good time, it's my own fault. Okay, number 140 checking in. Bit of a carnival kind of atmosphere here. Feeling it a little bit more now. But they've just told me where I've got to run to. Lipanoi Raja Ferry Pier. Me. I mean, that's a far drive. I've got to run back afterwards. So anyway, let's see. I think there's going to be a lot of walking done. As you can see from my sweaty form in this pre-race photo, it was incredibly hot. April's the hottest month of the year here in Samui, so even though the race wasn't until 5 PM, it was still 29 degrees, felt like 32, and according to Google, that number didn't drop over the next hour. But to the best of my meagre abilities, I ran. My participation trophy. 1 hour, 3 minutes and something. There wasn't a timer, but it was 1 hour 3 and something. I immediately went and got sick. I got sick at about the 7k mark as well. Puked in front of everyone just right at the finish line. The gym did really well. We got second and fourth in the women's event. We got second in the men's event, and we also got second in the 4.5k women's event. So I was obviously quite a bit off then, but all in all, I'm happy, everyone's happy. So anyway, we know where we stand now. It might have been 104 in the video there. You can see it's 6:04 when I crossed the line. I'm sure it said 103 on my phone. And after I'd gotten sick and had a little drink of water and I looked, it was still only 104. So in my head it was 103, but I'm happy to say 104. It doesn't matter. Either way, we know what we have to do next time round. We have to get down to below an hour. So I think it's achievable. One of my mates that was running his first 10k did it in 58 minutes. Bastard. My only injury from the race is an unexplained one. When I took off my shoes that night, I had a black toenail for reasons unknown. And 2 weeks later, it still looks like this. Bit of foot porn there for any podophiles. That's what they're called, apparently.